Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Corey, better known as the Seaman, and I want to welcome you to another edition of the Seaman's Cinema Sit Down. So we got a little space movie on our hands today. I went and saw it a little over a week ago during its limited release because I wanted to see it as soon as I could, so I could talk about it. And then I walked out of the theater and I went, I need to gather my thoughts. I really need to think about this one because I don't know how I feel. It left me very mixed emotionally and how I was thinking about the movie when I came out because it wasn't quite what I expected it to be. And while Natalie Portman absolutely crushes, I would have been more interested to know what was going on inside her head the whole movie. And while I love her and I love space movies, which this one has to do, I was hoping that this was going to be more in the Ad Astra realm of like a deep character study connected to whatever our story is that really drives this thing. It's not that, but Natalie Portman crushes, so that's why I feel mixed. It's weird. So why don't you pull up a chair, man, take a seat. We're getting ready to dive in spoiler-free into Lucy in the Sky. As I said, I was kind of getting a vibe that maybe this would be like the female Ad Astra, in the sense that it's not the same story. It's not trying to do what Ad Astra did, but in the sense of a character study that lets the character carry the whole thing and it's attached to her space exploration. And it was also based on a true story, and that's, I think, the thing that hurts this movie maybe the most is typically if you have a movie that struggles or kind of there are things that make you go, why would you go there, or why didn't we dive in more to this? And sometimes you get hindered by that because you're telling a story that actually happened. That's not the case here. It's telling a story that is legitimately based on another story. This astronaut, Lisa Nowak, had a real life affair with a fellow astronaut and then drives a ridiculous amount of distance to get to an airport to confront his current girlfriend. And it was like this huge news story and all these things. And that concept becomes the basis for Lucy in the Sky, where it's like, we're going to have a character who is going to have an affair, and it's going to do that drive thing to go to an airport. Sorry, mild spoilers. But do some of the crazy things that Lisa Nowak did, and that'll just kind of be part of the story that we'll create ourselves to tell this story of Lucy Cola, who is an astronaut who, upon going up to space with the space shuttle program, comes back home and is just like, what's the point? I just saw everything. Everything up in space, and now I gotta come home to this mundane life. I just want to get right back there. And that's the stuff that actually works in the movie. The first half of this film, I was with it, because you're like, one, I just love watching these beautiful space shots of, again, I said this with Ad Astra and some of the other ones, that's just outside the atmosphere, and that's where we kind of start with Lucy. And you can get the sense that her looking at the Earth from that place is going to have a profound impact when she comes home. And I think Natalie Portman, like I said, crushes this thing start to finish. And specifically in that first act. The first act had me going, why are people so down on this movie? I'm with it so far. I like where we're going. And that part of her going kind of crazy works. It plays because it's simplistic. Then you get to the middle back half of this movie, and she goes full-fledged crazy, and you're just like, I don't understand anymore. Why are you doing that? And it's the thing that just creates this massive disconnect, is I just didn't get Lucy's motivations or where she was coming from or what was really driving her crazy. It was just kind of she went to space, came home, home's mundane, she's trying to get back to space, is hitting some obstacles, and then everything falls apart. And it's so drastic and so you just don't understand it to a degree where you're going, cinematography's great, the beginning of the story was working, but as she kind of derails, the movie derails with her, as it just doesn't know where to go or what to focus on or what to tell us about it. And that was the thing about the movie that just kind of fell flat for me. I was like, I don't know. I feel as crazy as Lucy feels after watching the film, and that's not what you wanted to kind of get. And it was one of those things where the problem is it doesn't go inside Lucy's brain. It's this character study that doesn't let you in on what's going on with her. We're watching her story from an outsider's perspective. Like, we're watching this thing unfold, but we're not being let in. Whereas Ad Astra was letting you in, right? Like, it just, everything that Pitt's going through as he journeys across the universe to go find his dad, you understand where he is mentally, why he's feeling this way. And you don't understand those things with Lucy in the Sky. And it was unfortunate because there, like I said, are really, really wonderful cinematography moments. There's some beautiful shots and there's some beautiful performances. Natalie Portman, as I said, is wonderful. You know, it was almost kind of like she was able to get back to that like Black Swan place where, you know, you have this really complex situation going on in this character's head, and it's leading her to slowly unravel. And watching Portman slowly unravel as Lucy, it is stellar because she crushes it. I mean, you feel like you're watching someone who's losing their mind. But it felt like Natalie Portman knew more than we did. And as an audience member, if I'm watching specifically something that's a character study, I don't want to know less than the character. I want to know everything the character is knowing and feeling in these moments and what's leading them to feel this way or go down this route. So it felt like there were things that were missing that could have helped fill it out more. But Natalie Portman is phenomenal. Mark Goodwin is the character that she kind of has an affair with, which is part of that Lisa Nowak story. And again, another fictional name, but his character is played by John Hamm. And again, John Hamm, also phenomenal. It's not a difficult role for John. This is a role that felt very much like something John Hamm would be able to handle. And again, that's one of the other things too, is the relationship he has with Lucy certainly plays into why she loses her mind. But there's even like a disconnect there where it's like, I should be angry at this guy, but I'm not, because it's feeling like it's more of a Lucy thing. But even like that part of the story, again, just kind of felt jumbled. So you're getting a really nice performance from John Hamm, but that part of the story is part of the thing that it didn't help this movie get back on track. Zazie Beetz is also in it. She kind of plays this other female astronaut who's vying for the one of the positions on the next space shuttle trip. So she is sort of like a competitor to Lucy, but like Lucy's nice to her. And then there's, again, just things about that story that play into the mess of the back half of this movie. And while Zazie Beetz is great, I love seeing her pop up in things, and I like seeing her with these caliber of actors and standing on a platform that like she feels as an equal to them and does a really nice job. But that element of the story is the thing that it's like, could we have dove in and fleshed some of this stuff out more from Lucy's end? It's not what Zazie Beetz or John Hamm are necessarily doing, but how they impact Lucy. I wanted more there. And everybody, like I said, there's a lot of nice performances throughout the entire film, but the script and the story just, they kind of, I don't know, they lost me in the third act. And while you're watching great actors, it fell really short for me. I walked out of Ad Astra going, whoa. And the other thing too is this movie is not really as much of a space movie as I wanted it to be. And there are moments in the movie, like you get a lot of the on Earth space stuff in this one, which was cool. You get to see some of the training. Lucy has a training segment thing that involves, like, they do a lot of their training underwater because it can, give you that no gravity feel. And that scene is one of those things where it's like the potential of the movie is right there. You're gripped by what's happening on screen, and it kind of pulls you in, but it comes up just short of like what you want it to do and accomplish. And there are lots of things like that throughout the film where it's like, I really like this moment, but like it could have enhanced the story rather than just being like there. And that's what I think a lot of the stuff in the back half of the second and third act do. So Lucy in the Sky, Natalie Portman, amazing, really solid performances, but the story just didn't feel cohesive and left me feeling maybe as almost as crazy as Lucy ends up by the end of this movie. I would have liked to have dug into her character and what was actually going on in her mind a little more, specifically because it's a fictional character that is just using elements of this story about Lisa Nowak that was wild and crazy to kind of influence some of what's going on here, and it disappointed me. So there you go, man. Those are all my spoiler-free thoughts on Lucy in the Sky. Now I want to know what you're thinking, man. We are certainly in a year full of space stuff. And where does this movie fall for you in the other space movies or TV programs or things that have been out in the last year? Where does it fall? Did it reach your expectations? Did it do what you wanted it to do? Like I said, I was kind of hoping for like a Black Swan in space movie, and you get elements of that, but it doesn't quite reach. So did it quite reach for you? Did I miss something? Let me know whatever you're thinking. Or, you know, do you think like I do? And it was like, yeah, there was potential there, but this one comes up just a little short. So, you know, whether it was Portman's performance, which like I said is excellent, let me know what you thought about that and how it played, and if I don't know if it was just all meshing. I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm conflicted about this movie because I wanted it to really work, and for me it just didn't. So if it worked for you or if it didn't work for you, leave your comments down below. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you're new, you want to come hang out with the Seaman anytime we're talking space stuff. And there's, you know, I'm sure there's more space stuff to be had this year. I wouldn't be shocked if we get more. But you know, anything we're talking in the movie realm, you gotta go hit that subscribe. You gotta hit that little bell that follows so you get alerts every time I make a new video. But the Seaman's Cinema Sit Down, I'm Seaman. I'm signing off for peace. Well, I'll be. You guys are still here. You must be looking for some more content. Well, don't worry. Seaman's got you covered, man. You got videos like this guy and this guy. And if you haven't yet, and you want to come check out all the Seaman goodies, join the Cinema Sit Down squad, man. Hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the little bell down below that, too, so you can get alerts every time I make new videos.